Alright, what's up everybody? It is Carl's Collects Comics and I'm back with another Friday feature. This week I'm going to be talking to you about comic collecting goals from 2021 and the comic collecting goals that I'm setting up for 2022. I can't wait to share some of these with you, the progress that I've made on building some runs, and the books that I'm looking to pick up this next year, including the fact that I already picked one of them up. So stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight for this Friday feature. I'm excited because I've got some books to share with you. I do have quite a few of them that I'm going to go through, and I'm going to go through them quicker. I'm not going to put as many of them up as I normally would because I'm under a crunch to get this video finished and out for you. But let's go ahead and get through this list right now. So in 2021, I had built a list of 15 books / runs that I wanted to build over the year. I was able to hit, of those goals, I was able to hit 10 out of the 15, which I felt was pretty good. So here we go. So 2021, the goals that I had set were, first on my list was Daredevil #1. This is a book that I've been following for about 2 years now. Number 2 on my list for 2021 was New Teen Titans #2 in high grade. Number 3 on my list for 2021, which is, again, last year, was Forever People #1 in any grade. Number 4 on my list was Deadly Hands of Kung Fu #19 in high grade, which I did get a copy of that. That's the first appearance of White Tiger. Number 5 on my list was Spectacular Spider-Man #9 in high grade. I got a slab 9.6 copy, and then I have a few raw copies that I'm hoping to send in for the George Perez signing. Number 6 on my list for 2021 was Avengers Academy number 20 in high grade. Now when I say in high grade, I mean anything 9.0 or higher. I actually was able to pick up, I think, 2 copies of that. And for a really good price. So I've checked those off the list. Number 7 on my list was just DC Comics Presents #26 in a grade. I'd actually had a copy going into the year. I got it signed by George Perez and Jose Delbo, both who worked on it. Number 8 on my list for 2021 was DC Comics Presents #37 in a grade. That's the first appearance of He-Man in comic books, and that's a book that I did not get, and I actually did not add it for this year. I'm going to hold off on that book and see where it goes. Number 9 on my list was Transformers #1 in high grade, which I got raw. It's at least a 9.2. Number 10 on my list was Thundercats #1 first print, and also to get that in high grade. I did get that, and as you saw in the CGC unboxing, I did get it slabbed, and it came back in 9.0. Number 11 on my list was Predator #1. I actually got Predator #1 through 4, all in high grade. Number 12 on my list was G.I. Joe #21. I had it here in high grade, but the grade I got it at was about a 6.0 to 6.5, and I'm happy with that. I'm glad to have that book and add it to the collection. Number 13 on my list was Hit Comics #55. This is a Golden Age book, very scarce, and it is actually the first unauthorized appearance of Zorro, both on the cover and in the story. And so I don't consider it the true first appearance of Zorro in comic books, but I still wanted to own it as a completionist and a fan of the character, so I did get a copy of that. And then numbers 14 and 15 on the list were respectively to complete my G.I. Joe run, my Marvel G.I. Joe run, and then number 15 was to complete my classic X-Men run. This was a goal that I added to my collecting goals for the year, probably about midway through the year, because they're very inexpensive to pick up, and it's a very much a strong nostalgia pickup for me because I remember those covers. I love those Art Adams covers and the Mike Mignola covers. But really, that early run of classic X-Men, I grew up with those books, and so I wanted to own a copy of them, and it's a fairly inexpensive run to pick up. So for the G.I. Joe run, there's a total of 155 books in the run. I was able to accumulate, and now that starting the year, I think I had about 6 or 7 of them. But over the course of the year, I added approximately 60 books to that run, and so I have a total of 66 books out of the 155 issue run. I already had a number 1 in a 9.6 CGC slabbed. I added a lower grade copy that I put at about a 4.0 just to have it in my run with the rest of the books. So that finishes up the 2021 goals. Let's take a look at the 2022 goals for building up my comic collection. So on the 2022 list, number 1 on my list is Daredevil number 1, and again, this is in any grade. I know that the prices continue to go up, and the price will continue to go up, but I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to watch, and the right book will come up at the right time. I'm confident of that. I just have to make sure that I get my debt paid off and make sure that I have some money waiting so that I can purchase this book and conserve my cash so that I'm saving up towards this book. Number 2 on my list was actually Hulk number 102. This was this book was when they started the renumbering of the Hulk. They had done 1 through 6, and then it changed to a different title. Then it came back to the Incredible Hulk at 102, and lo and behold, I had gone into my local comic shop, and because it was on my goal list, I knew immediately when I saw it. I picked it up, and so this, with just I think it's like 2 weeks into the new year, I've crossed off the first book on my collecting goal list. Number 3 on my list is Silver Surfer number 1. I know, and this is also an any grade book. I know this book is also going up in price. It's not quite as high priced as Daredevil number 1, but this is another book that I want to pick up this year. So again, the same strategy, minimizing the smaller books that I'm purchasing, selling off some of the smaller books, and then diverting that money over to a bigger purchase is, to meet those collector goals. That's the strategy I'm employing here. I'm also this year going to be starting to dabble into pre-code horror books. I don't have a specific book picked out. I don't have a specific grade, and I don't have a specific title. I just know that this year I'd like to acquire my first pre-code horror book. And I'm sure if you tune into my Monday series, Monday Hauls, you'll get to see that book when it should happen this year. Number 5 on my list for collecting goals for 2022 is a Golden Age Batman book or books, depending on the deal that presents itself. Number 6 on my list for 2022 is Forever People number 1. I'm looking to get a mid-grade copy of that one. This is a fairly inexpensive book for it being so significant, I believe. It's the first full appearance of Darkseid and the first appearance of the Forever People. And it's the first issue of that classic Silver Age run. So that is a book that I'd like to pick up this year. New Teen Titans number 2, the first appearance of Deathstroke. I do have almost a complete run of the New Teen Titans. I've never owned I've owned a number 2. It's very high grade. I ended up selling it off with the intention to upgrade, but never did get a book. I'm looking to get this book raw, and so yeah, that's one that I'd like to go and pick up this year. Number 8 on my list is Marvel Premiere number 15 in a mid-grade. It's the first appearance of Iron Fist. I've had opportunities to pick that book up at the beginning of the year. I didn't ever do it, and I should have. Number 9 on my list is Luke Cage number 1. This one, mid to high grade. It's kind of what I'm thinking, but because it is still a little bit lower priced, but it's one that I'd like to add to the collection. Number 10 on my list is The Demon number 1. There's something really neat about this Jack Kirby creation. that I've always found really neat. It's in one of my favorite Batman stories of all time, a little known 2-issue story from Detective Comics in the 90s, when Batman is being hunted by a demon, and he goes to consult with Jason Blood and Etrigan the demon, and find out what he can do to stop this thing. So I'd like to get a copy of that. I put down high grade, but we'll see what happens with it. We'll see if it where it ends up. I'm mainly looking to add it to the collection, and I can always upgrade later if I'd like to. Number 11 on my list is another bigger book. This is House of Secrets number 92, which is the first appearance of Swamp Thing. This is another one of those books that I had in my hand. Great price for the grade. I didn't buy it, and now the book has shot up. And so I'm going to end up paying at least 50% more than I could have gotten it for. But it is what it is. Sometimes that happens, and sometimes we can't get the book at that exact time, and we have to pass on it. But it is on my list. I am looking forward to trying to snag that copy or that book this year. Number 12 on my list is Marvel Spotlight number 32 in a high grade. This is the first appearance of the Jessica Drew Spider-Woman, and that's one that I'm looking forward to. I've always liked the character. I loved her, how she was utilized in New Avengers and Brian Michael Bendis' run. So I'm looking forward to seeing if I can pick that book up. Hopefully she doesn't show up in one of the Spider-Verse movies, because then the book's going to skyrocket, and we all know how that goes. Number 13 on my list is Strange Adventures number 205. This is the first appearance of Deadman. I listed here to get it in high grade. Now with these older books, to me high grade is anything 7.0 and above. I know that this is an expensive book because he's such a cool character. If I can't get it in high grade, I will settle for low grade on it. And it's the same for a lot of these other ones. If it's the right deal and it means getting it versus not getting it, then yeah, I will go ahead and go with a lower grade to have it in the collection, because I can then sell that off, add some more money to it at a different point, and then go after an even higher grade. And you can bump up that way, and it's an effective way to do it. It's very strategic. Number 14 on my list is House of Mystery number 156. This is the first appearance of Robbie Reed. He's the Dial H for Hero Dial. That character is one I like the reboot that they did with him, that DC did with the 12-issue maxi series. But I do want to get the first appearance of the Hero Dial and the first appearance of the original character. So that is in House of Mystery number 156. So that's one that's fairly inexpensive, and it is one that I'm looking to pick up probably sooner rather than later. Number 15 on my list, the last collecting goal for this year, is Doctor Strange number 169. And I'm looking for about something in a mid-grade, about a 5.0 to about a 6.0. This is right now, about, as of the recording of this video, the absolute worst time to be trying to buy Doctor Strange keys. So it was a book that I was focused on last year, didn't add it to my list, didn't buy it. I put it on this year's list because I want it there, but I'm probably not going to end up buying it this year because the movie's coming, and this book is just going to continue to go up, and a lot of that is going to be hype inflation, fear of missing out, people wanting to grab the book, so they're paying more money thinking it's going to get even higher and out of reach. I don't feel like a book ever gets completely out of reach. It just might take longer to get the book, and might take more sacrifice and more work on your part to get that book, to get the funding for that book. So yeah, that's my thought process on it. Is I'm not going to pay a hype fee on, bonus, hype extra money, inflation money on top of the cost of the book. So We'll see. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. I think 2022 is going to be a great year. Make sure to leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of my collecting goals. These are not necessarily investment books. These are more personal collection and personal enjoyment and personal enrichment and personal goal books that I'm just excited to be able to consider doing. So make sure to like this video, comment below what you thought of the lists that I put out there, the goals that I made from last year, and the goals that I'm setting for this year. Let me know what you think of the runs that I'm putting together. Let me know what runs you're looking to build. What are your collecting goals for this next year? I'd love to hear from you. As always, if you take the time to leave a comment, I will take the time to respond to each and every comment. Also, make sure to hit the notification bell so that you know when we're going to go live for our weekly Wednesday night show, the giveaway show from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central. Above all, consider subscribing to the channel. I have a lot of great content that I'm going to be dropping over the course of this year, and I can't wait to continue sharing with you the progress as I put together the collection that I envision. Thanks again for tuning in to another Friday feature. I'm Carl's Collects Comics, and thank you again for your support of the channel. Looking forward to hearing from you. Talk to you soon.